Patriots Nation, there is a very interesting twist developing as we get closer and closer to free agency, and it might have come straight out of Indianapolis. With the tampering window just days away and front offices across the league preparing for a frenzy of negotiations, one decision by the Indianapolis Colts could quietly open a door for the New England Patriots to make a serious move at a position that desperately needs reinforcements. The deadline for teams to use the franchise or transition tag has come and gone, and as expected, not many organizations were willing to commit massive money to those one-year deals. The cost of tagging a player this year is extremely high, and several teams chose flexibility over locking themselves into a short-term cap hit. One of the more notable decisions involved the Colts, who had to make a call on multiple key contributors. Instead of locking up their wide receiver, they placed the transition tag on Daniel Jones. That move carries a significant salary, but more importantly, it leaves another name heading straight toward the open market. That name is Alec Pierce, and this is where things get really interesting for New England. For months, the conversation around the Patriots has centered on one undeniable truth. This offense needs a true playmaker on the outside, not just a complementary piece, not just depth. They need someone who can stretch the field, command attention from opposing defensive coordinators, and create explosive plays. When you look at how modern offenses are built, the teams that consistently compete deep into January have receivers who can flip the field in a single snap. Pierce has shown flashes of being exactly that kind of threat. What makes this situation even more intriguing is that many around the league did not expect Pierce to even sniff free agency. There was an assumption he would either receive a tag or reach a long-term agreement before this point. Instead, the Colts' decision signals that they are willing to let the market define his value. And once a player hits the open market, anything can happen. If you rewind to the draft that brought Pierce into the league, there is an added layer of storyline here. The Patriots had opportunities to address the wide receiver position in that class, but went in a different direction. Since then, the organization has faced criticism for its struggles in drafting and developing receivers. Meanwhile, Pierce has steadily improved year after year, showing growth in route running, ball tracking, and finishing plays down the field. Statistically, the progression stands out. His rookie season showed promise, but over time his production climbed. The yardage totals increased. The touchdowns followed. The drops decreased. By the time he reached his most recent campaign, he was flirting with the 1,000-yard mark and proving he could handle a heavier workload. Efficiency matters in this league, and when a receiver turns limited opportunities into explosive gains, general managers take notice. The question now becomes financial. A player trending upward at that position does not come cheap. Market projections suggest a multi-year deal averaging around $20 million annually. That is the going rate for a receiver viewed as a legitimate starter with upside. For the Patriots, that number forces tough decisions. Cap space is not infinite, and every major signing reshapes the roster in other areas. There is also a philosophical component to consider. Do you pay premium money for a player who has had one breakout-level season, or do you aim even higher for an established superstar? That debate will divide the fan base. Some will argue that Pierce's age and upward trajectory make him a smart investment, especially as the offense tries to build around young talent. Others will hesitate at committing that level of money unless the production is consistently elite. On the field, the fit is intriguing. Pierce brings vertical speed and the ability to win contested catches along the boundary. He can take the top off a defense, forcing safeties to stay honest and creating space underneath for slot receivers and tight ends. That type of skill set is something New England has lacked in recent seasons. Defenses have often crowded the line of scrimmage without fearing a deep strike. Adding a legitimate vertical threat changes how opponents structure their coverages. However, roster construction is never that simple. The Patriots already have young receivers they are developing, and internal growth is always part of the plan. If the front office believes one of their current players can evolve into that field-stretching role at a fraction of the cost, they may decide that allocating $20 million per year elsewhere is the smarter path. Building a complete roster requires balancing star power with depth and flexibility. As free agency approaches, the timing could not be more dramatic. The legal tampering window opens soon, and once conversations officially begin, numbers will start flying. Offers will be made. Agents will leverage interest. Teams will scramble to secure visits and lock in agreements before the frenzy cools. If Pierce reaches that stage without a new deal in Indianapolis, expect his phone to be busy. For the Patriots, this represents an opportunity to correct past decisions and accelerate the offense's evolution. Whether they actually pursue it depends on how aggressively they want to reshape the wide receiver room and how confident they are in their current trajectory. One thing is certain. A door that many assumed would remain closed has suddenly swung open, and the next few days could determine whether New England walks through it or watches another team make the investment. As the conversation heats up, the real debate is not simply whether Alec Pierce is a talented player. He absolutely is. The real question is whether committing that level of money aligns with what the New England Patriots are trying to build over the next several seasons. Free agency is not just about adding names. It is about projecting production, understanding trajectory, and deciding when to pay for past performance versus future potential. When you evaluate Pierce's career arc, you see steady improvement. His yardage totals have climbed, his role in the offense expanded, and his efficiency per catch has made defensive coordinators respect his vertical ability. He has shown that he can win down the sideline, track the ball over his shoulder, and finish through contact. Those are premium traits in today's passing league. But projecting forward is where the gamble lies. Was his most recent surge the beginning of consistent 1,000-yard seasons, or was it the peak of a perfect alignment of opportunity and scheme? The financial implications cannot be ignored. A contract averaging around $20 million per year would immediately place him among the higher-paid receivers in the league. That kind of investment demands more than flashes. It demands 80 to 100 receptions, consistent red zone production, and the ability to take over games against elite competition. If you are paying that number, you expect a receiver who changes the math for defenses every single week. There is also the internal comparison that has to be made. The Patriots have younger receivers developing within the system who offer similar physical profiles at a fraction of the cost. When a team already has a vertical threat on a rookie contract making roughly $1 million per season, the value equation shifts dramatically. Rookie deals are gold in the modern salary cap era. They allow flexibility to strengthen other positions, whether that is the offensive line, pass rush, or secondary. Imagine committing $20 million annually to Pierce and then needing to restructure or release another veteran to stay compliant. Every move has a ripple effect. Cap space gained in one area is lost in another. If New England believes their young, deep threat can mirror Pierce's growth curve over the next 2 seasons, then patience might be the wiser strategy. Development is rarely linear, but if the trajectory is similar, the organization could save significant resources. At the same time, there is the argument for certainty. Banking on potential carries its own risk. Not every promising young player becomes a consistent producer. Injuries happen. Confidence wavers. Schemes change. When you sign a player who has already proven he can handle starting responsibilities in a competitive offense, you are buying a level of reliability. That stability can be invaluable for a team seeking to re-establish its identity. Another angle to consider is market competition. If Pierce truly reaches the open market without a deal from the Indianapolis Colts, multiple teams will likely inquire. Wide receiver demand across the league is constant. The moment bidding intensifies, projected numbers can climb quickly. What begins as a $20 million per year estimate could edge closer to 22 or 25 if several franchises see him as a missing piece. That scenario forces New England to set a firm internal valuation. You cannot chase a player emotionally. The front office must decide beforehand the maximum price they are willing to pay and stick to it. Overpaying in March often leads to regret in December. Discipline during free agency is what separates sustainable roster building from short-term splashes that fail to deliver. From a schematic standpoint, Pierce's ability to stretch coverage vertically would open up opportunities underneath. Slot receivers would see lighter coverage. Tight ends could exploit seams. Running lanes might widen as safeties hesitate before creeping toward the line. Offensive football is about spacing, and true deep threats expand the field in ways that do not always show up directly in box scores. Yet the Patriots also need a receiver who commands volume. Someone who can handle 10 targets in a game and convert them into chain-moving production. Pierce's profile has leaned more toward efficiency than heavy volume. That distinction matters. A balanced offense often requires both a field stretcher and a possession anchor. If the organization is spending big money, they may prefer a player with a longer track record of high catch totals. Beyond Pierce, other receivers around the league could become available through trades or cap casualties. The front office might explore veterans who have consistently produced at a top 10 level, even if it means surrendering draft capital. Trading for an established star ensures you know exactly what you are getting. There is less projection involved and more certainty tied to past elite seasons. Meanwhile, several Patriots players are preparing to test free agency themselves. Depth pieces along the defensive front and secondary may depart if better offers emerge. That reality adds urgency to resource allocation. Strengthening one position cannot come at the expense of weakening another critical area. Building a complete roster requires constant prioritization. As the tampering period approaches, phone lines between agents and front offices will be buzzing. Negotiations will unfold rapidly. Deals will be agreed upon within hours. Rumors will swirl, and expectations will shift in real time. For Patriots fans, this is the moment where speculation turns into action. Whether the team ultimately pursues Alec Pierce aggressively or pivots to another target, the next phase of roster construction is about clarity of vision. Are they accelerating the rebuild with immediate impact signings? Or are they trusting internal growth while adding complementary pieces? The decision on this one receiver symbolizes a broader philosophical direction. If New England believes that Pierce's upward trend is just beginning and that he can anchor the outside for years to come, then the investment might be justified. If they see overlapping skill sets already present on the roster and prefer to allocate funds elsewhere, they may watch him sign elsewhere without hesitation. The beauty and tension of free agency lie in these crossroads moments, where strategy, projection, and conviction collide as the league prepares for a new chapter. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. What started as background noise around the league has quickly escalated into a full-blown point of speculation. Inside NFL circles, there is growing chatter that the situation involving Christian Barmore has reached a level of urgency that may force the New England Patriots to act far sooner than anyone anticipated. Sources close to the organization suggest that what was once viewed as a manageable internal discussion is now being treated as a time-sensitive decision with real consequences for the short and long-term structure of the roster. Barmore's name has quietly but persistently surfaced in recent conversations among executives and scouts. Whether tied to health, contract dynamics, or a broader strategic pivot, the underlying issue appears to be clarity. The Patriots, known for their calculated patience, may be facing a rare moment where waiting could cost leverage. League insiders speculate that the front office is weighing an aggressive move that would signal decisiveness rather than hesitation, a departure from their traditionally guarded approach. What fuels the rumor mill is the sense that other teams are monitoring the situation closely. Defensive linemen of Barmore's profile do not linger long on the speculative market without drawing attention, and rival personnel departments are believed to be doing their homework in case an unexpected opportunity emerges. Even without formal signals, subtle inquiries have reportedly increased, a sign that the league senses something could break at any moment. Within New England, the debate seems to revolve around timing and control. Acting now could allow the Patriots to shape the narrative and the outcome, while delaying might invite outside pressure or unwanted interpretations. Some around the team believe a lightning decision is on the table, one that could redefine the defensive core or, at the very least, send a message about the franchise's current direction. For now, nothing is official, and that uncertainty is precisely what keeps the story alive. In a league built on anticipation and leverage, the Barmore case has transformed into a live wire. Whether the Patriots choose to strike immediately or continue to play their cards close to the chest, the sense around the NFL is unmistakable. This situation is no longer theoretical, and the next move could come without warning. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.